Hello boys and girls, I'm going to review the Orleans buffet. This is Sunday brunch in Las Vegas, and I'm giving you the summary and then I'm going to go into detail. In summary, this is an extremely disappointing buffet and I am being extremely diplomatic. I am here solely because I have to review it and because it's complimentary. I had an offer and it included a resort credit, blah 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 blah. Nonetheless, I wouldn't have taken the offer if it wasn't for the fact that I want to review it for you. And I know it sounds harsh, but I have to be. And it's been such a disappointing experience that it actually has affected my mood. I don't know if you've seen my other videos this year, 2019, but I think I'm usually always laughing. But today I'm not. I'm actually in a terrible mood because the food was awful. And to me, food is part of experience, you know, that you savor. So this is the salad section, and pretty much is, again, you know, I mean, from just looking at it, you think, oh, okay, it's, you know, basic. Doesn't have anything pre-made, of course, but it's basic. It's a lot easier to just get things out of a bag or a box and just put it here. But my problem with this is that it's actually bad in terms of ingredients and quality of ingredients, in my opinion. So the quality of the ingredients is very low, in my opinion. So when I had the cucumber, it was I believe a low grade, bad quality cucumber. You know, I'm just giving you an example here. So, you know, if you just look at it, you think, oh wow, there's a lot, you know, and usually this is an affordable buffet. Today is Sunday brunch, so it's $21. And, you know, for Sunday brunch, it's quite affordable. But had I had a blank slate and could I have chosen an affordable buffet, I would have definitely have gone to Palms again and again and again. But I've already reviewed it and it was a wonderful experience throughout. And now I'm here for things I do for you girls and boys. So you got the deli section. The salami has gone, the pepperoni, however you call it, cheese, and some sliced fruit. At least it's not from a tin. It's a little bit busy here, but I'll try and squeeze through somehow. I mean, I'm going to show you, it was remodeled some time ago, like sometime last year in 2018, but I think that when they opened it was a lot better, still relatively speaking, because this buffet, I have not ever had a good experience at any of the Boyd gaming buffets, I'm sorry. Never. Maybe my expectations are high, but I tell you, when I go to Palms and I have a lovely experience and the food tastes good and the texture is great, the preparation's good, and the ingredients I think are good. And you know, it's not mind-blowing because it's still a budget buffet, but when I go there and then I come here, I'm thinking, why can't you do it? Why can't you do it as well? And I don't know. My suspect is that it doesn't matter. That there'll always be people coming here for whatever reason. It blows my mind. Some of it is ignorance in the sense that, don't get me wrong, please don't be offended. I mean, not being aware of what else is out there. Others are regulars, locals, you know, God knows what kind of offers they get, you know. And then, of course, they give you free entries to these buffets so easily. If you gamble a little bit, you get a free entry, a free buffet access, you know. It's difficult to pass up. I would. No, I mean, especially because Palms is so close, and I'm talking about being at Gold Coast, which is still close to here, but Palms is really close to Gold Coast, which is part of this family. And there's a shuttle linking Gold Coast to Orleans. Below the shuttle now is very infrequent, but I'll tell you all about it on top-buffet.com. Okay, here we go. Okay, smoked salmon. I mean, in terms of, if you read a list, you'll go, wow, this is absolutely great for the price. But again, it's when you eat it that the disappointment hits you. Very hard. Chicken gumbo, hot and sour soup, egg cauliflower soup, cream of wheat, grits, and oatmeal. Okay, now if you come from Europe, you will not understand some of this food. So my suggestion is, you will be heavily disappointed, go to Palms. If you are into budget buffets, otherwise, you know, many buffets on the strip are better than this. Not all, but many. And I have a list on both best budget buffets in Vegas and best buffets in Vegas in absolute terms on top-buffet.com. You know, I was here and I resorted to eating coleslaw. I mean, I sampled pretty much everything, but I mean, just to fill myself, I had coleslaw. Can you believe it? And it wasn't even that good. Imitation crab salad. I love the fact that they at least put imitation crab salad, right? So I actually don't know what the ingredients are of that. Corn on the cob, buttermilk biscuits, and country gravy somewhere. Smoked pork, spare ribs, none to be seen, but they were here before. Okay, so you got sausage, you've got sauté onions and some mushrooms. I actually have lost the will to eat here. Nothing that I tried, except for one thing maybe, was palatable. And as I say, it just blows my mind. I mean, I guess you know what it is? If you have eaten here over and over, and if you get used to it. You know, humans get used to things. Otherwise, you know, I mean, it's just part of survival, I think. And I think because it is in us to get used to things, if you eat here over and over, eventually you get used to it, I think, and it becomes absolutely acceptable. This is crawfish. Melted butter, hot syrup, blueberry sauce, strawberry sauce. It's all like, you know, it's a sauce. It's not fresh. It's full of sugar. It's a syrup, really. It's a syrup, really. And then you have prime rib, beef ribs, and that's it. Thank you. And here, doesn't that look good? Whipped butter. It looks good, doesn't it? I mean, I tell you, I'm surprised how much of it people have eaten in the last hour. He was almost full. Then here you've got your jams and little things, and your Philadelphia cheese over there that people take to their room. Waffles, potato pancakes, and cheese rolls, kind of. It's a sweet sauté. It's a sweet savory dish. And again, I ate a lot of that. And when I eat a lot of unhealthy foods, it means there's really nothing to eat. Hot syrup and sauté veggies. Even these ones, you know, I usually like this. I mean, I like this dish usually. It was absolutely horribly done. It was overcooked, tasteless, you name it. The texture was bad, the flavor was bad. I think the ingredients themselves were low quality to begin with. This is my assumption. I don't have any proof. It's what it tastes like. Shrimp, tempura crab, and spicy crab. You know, and this is the first time in the Vegas buffets that I've actually eaten sushi, because there was very little else to eat, and this is passable. Obviously, it's all bought, pre-made, all of it. I think, almost all of it. Fruit. Bananas. I'm gonna convey my disappointment through my very subdued tone. Okay, this is omelette station. You make it to order, and you know, these eggs, these factory eggs, they don't do it for me, but presumably that's what you get in all buffets, but not necessarily. I think in one buffet I read free range, believe it or not. I mean, if you come from Europe, beware that these are not free-range eggs. I mean, in many European countries, they only have free range, but it's beware of that. Then, of course, this is brunch, so you have a lot of breakfast options. far too many in my opinion, and not enough of anything else, but it probably wouldn't have mattered because of the way things are cooked, prepared, the ingredients and so forth. You got your bacon, and then you've got your eggs Benedict, mashed potatoes, chicken gravy and brown gravy.
More?
Sorry.
No.
Bone-in ham. This was the only thing that was edible. That's okay, thank you. Then meatloaf, rotisserie chicken. It was actually edible. And you know, I don't eat much meat, but I try it for you. And the ham was, compared to anything else, was good. Relatively speaking. French toast, scrambled eggs, country fish steak, and corned beef hash, country gravy, and hot syrup. I can't wait to get to the end of this. Will some of you like this buffet? Yeah, I mean, look at it. There are people eating here. But I don't know if they eat because they love it, or it's because it's free for them, or it's because they're used to it. You know, after all, you know what some people do? They just pile up in shrimps, pile up in whatever little seafood there is. So they eat, you know, and then they eat something else at home, presumably. Oh, sorry, I didn't tell you what it is. Ceviche. I had ceviche at MGM Grand at dinner, and it was delicious, so you don't have to have bad ceviche. Although MGM Grand was more expensive, and to be fair, when I went there for lunch 2 days later, it wasn't as good, but now I wish I were there. Seafood salad, and tartar sauce and cocktail sauce. Okay, so Mexican section, Spanish rice, chicken taquitos. I don't see the taquitos, do you? Refried beans here, charro beans, chicken taquitos. It must be the inside of chicken taquitos, then you make your own taquito. Let me find out. Beef chili, menudo, and taco meat, and you make yourself your own tacos. Cheers. Huevos rancheros, more eggs. Seafood enchiladas, I had it. I could not tell what it was except for a blob of processed cheese. Salsa bar. I mean, even the guacamole was, I don't know. I mean, if they had closed my eyes, I wouldn't have told you what it was. It's just bad. End of story. And, you know, yes, I'm being harsh, but it is what it is. Now, if you are from a different area where, you know, I mean, as I always say, in Vancouver, I am of Italian origin, but I have lived in Vancouver extensively. And in Vancouver, BC, for $25, this is 21, for 25 Canadian dollars, just, you know, a bit less, but you have the most revolting buffet ever at one of those casinos. So yeah, I mean, if you come from there and you come here, you think you at least have a lot of choices, and you do have a lot of choices. I just wish that those choices were well prepared. And I don't think here there is a chef. I don't think here there is anybody who actually cooks this stuff. Or it's just I think this is all pre-made and heated up. It's got to be. Because it doesn't taste like you've just made it, except for, let me see, the pizza. They're actually making the pizzas with a wood-fired oven. In fact, to be really honest with you, this section here, the pizzas and the calzone, as you know, it's like, it's the same, but rolled, so you have more of the ingredients. It's very heavy. I had the same at Palms, and it was very light. You know, you may think, oh, you know, I don't care if it's heavy, but you do, because if it's heavy, you eat a lot less, and it's heavy on in your stomach. If it's light, it's delicious, but it's not, as I say, heavy on you. So that's my opinion again. Now here you've got vanilla and chocolate soft serve. You'll find it pretty much anywhere. I'm sorry, I mean, am I not being helpful enough? Because I'm just so disappointed by this buffet. Oh, I mean, it just, For Vegas, this is a tragedy. It's a tragedy. That's what it is. Because there are such good buffets out there, and some of them are affordable. Not all, some of them. And this is not one of them. It's not one of them in terms of good. No sugar added, you know, a lot to say about that. Don't think that it's sugar-free. Nonetheless, but that's okay. I mean, that's not a criticism for this buffet. It's just pretty much the same everywhere. Then you have your, well, let's see if they have something that I like. You know what? The one thing that I really like that's not even here right now. They have such few of them. Here they had. Let's have a little bit of imagination. They had smoothies. Well, they were like yogurt, sugar, sweet yogurt, really, with a little bit of liquid. But you know, they were nice. You know, they were nice. They were as nice as last time when I reviewed them last time. They were like same flavor, like blueberry flavors, but I mean, they were nice. Sugary, of course, but here before they had already peeled orange, really, you know, that dark red orange, already peeled bits of it, chunks. It was very nice. Well, you know, it was alive. And then you've got your run-of-the-mill, all of it, run-of-the-mill desserts that I'm sure are bought pre-made, they're cut and served out. Now you have your, this, you know, not all buffets have this, for example. You know, I'm saying this, but I should know what this is called because I'm Italian, right? I can't remember. Cannoli, there you go, cannoli. So I'm going to try that because it's the real good cannolis, forget it. But at least it's there. I'll try it and let you know. I'll have an addendum at the end to tell you what things are like. Tiramisu pudding, which I'll have some of that later. And then finally, which I'm happy about actually, this is a good thing, they have gelato, which I'll have, and they have sorbet, which I'll have. I mean, this is a good thing. I'm gonna, you know, you have to be, I don't know what this stuff is here. I'd like to remove it. But I have to be honest, this is a really lovely, pleasant surprise, you know? I mean, if anything else, you have lots of ice cream, gelato. I'm going to try it and let you know what it is like. Now here they have assorted things and donuts. The donuts were fine, actually, you know? Very sugary, that was so much sugar. I mean, because before coming here, yes, I was in Florida, but before that time I was in Europe, and there I was there for a few months, not just 2 or 3 months actually, and I got used to things that are not so full of sugar and yet they're delicious, and it really kind of like it's hitting me, all this sugar, so much sugar, too much sugar. So beware of that if you come from Europe. Everything here is just incredibly filled with sugar, and I can only imagine the syrup and fruit, what is it called? Various syrups that they add in it. Again, my brain is refusing to work. I'm going to try that bread pudding and let you know. You know, the best bread pudding I've had so far was a Mirage, as usual, and at MGM Grand, which was delicious. Pause it. I'm going to go and help myself to those items that I told you about in the dessert section. I'm going to try them. I'm going to add a little bit at the end, so stay tuned to tell you what they were like. And then I remind you already that I have a section on top-buffet.com where I talk about budget eating in Vegas. You don't have to compromise. You don't have to eat this badly to save money. Although, to be honest, during the weekend, prices are a bit higher in buffets. So if you really, really have a tight budget, you may have to go to Subway or somewhere like that. There are food courts in some resorts, but in the end, beware, because you know, if you include the drinks and all that, it's not that much cheaper, believe me. But I talk about that on top-buffet.com. Now stay tuned because I want to tell you about those desserts. Okay, so just because I wanted to show you, and I'm trying to avoid showing you a dirty table, it's not nice. This is the smoothie, of course it's half drunk by me. that I was telling you about. So if you can grab those, just go straight to the dessert section if you're into this, and then see if they have them, and have a few, because they're just so hard to get them, really hard to get them. Okay, now I'm gonna just eat those desserts and let you know all about it. Okay, so here I am with the addendum about the dessert. Okay, so can you see it? All right, that's better. The cannoli, everything that you see on this plate is excruciatingly sugary. It's far too sweet. So sweet that to me it's sickening. Again, maybe because I came from a couple of months in Europe where, you know, sugar is not used like it's oxygen, and yet things are good. But at the same time, without being geographically biased, I mean, let's face it, I came from MGM Grand, I came from Aria, and I had dessert there, and it wasn't sickening in terms of how sweet it was, because I understand dessert is sweet, but there is a limit. And it may also be, is it that you're using sugar, or you're using corn syrup, or what is it, the other one? The other horrible one. Oh, please help me out here, I can't remember. There's some sort of syrup, really cheap, that they put in many desserts, usually prepackaged desserts. I'm not talking about this in particular, I'm talking about when you buy biscuits and stuff, you know, the cheap ones especially, but all of them. And it really is sickening sweet, whilst when you just have a dessert where they use raw sugar, cane sugar, brown sugar ideally, it's sweet, but it's not this sickening. And I got my impression, and I don't have a proof, but is that to make these sweets they use that syrup that I'm trying to remember the name of, and it's just too much. I can taste the diabetes coming on if I eat this more than, you know, twice. I really don't recommend it. And if you're used to it, check your sugar levels in your blood. It's just really too much. This is my opinion again, but you know, I'm looking out for you. I want you to live a long life and happy life. Okay, now I'm gonna try the fruit and tell you all about it. Alright, so the pineapple, it's a little hard. It's a bit unripe. It's not ripe. And the watermelon was a bit tasteless, but you know, I expect this from a budget buffet. Again, at Palms, however, they were delicious, really delicious. You know, like the good cuts, not like the bad cuts. Or say if you have a ripe watermelon, the difference between a ripe watermelon coming from, I don't know, a good crop. I'm no farmer, so it's difficult to describe. Oh, and I think the name of the syrup that I've been struggling with, it's glucose syrup, right? Glucose syrup. Nonetheless, it's not natural sugar. It makes a difference, you know. So, all in all, I couldn't even enjoy my dessert. In fact, and I have to admit, I have to go to a couple more that are notoriously disappointing. I just came here with hope, you know, because to me, when I tell you about a good buffet, which is budget, it's very important. I get pleasure when I find a buffet that's good, but it's budget. I am thrilled about it. Like when I'm always thrilled when I tell you about Palms, you know, and people I met there and everybody was happy, and I said, well, do you like it? I said, yeah, I like it. They couldn't quite come out and say, oh, it's the best, because they were still influenced by the fact that it was $15 only, 1.5, and you know, the mind makes you think that if something is cheap, it's not good, if something is expensive, it's good. It's a trick. But they were all happy. I don't see such happiness here. So those of you who may be locals, I don't know, who don't like what I write, you have to understand. I've got to look out for the visitors. Yeah, you know, don't worry, it's not all like that. I mean, I've reviewed buffets and I've been raving about it, and I still am raving about them. It's not all like this. Some of it is fabulous. So I'll see you on top-buffet.com.